Hello there, welcome back to the Ogre, the old Git Reacts, Reviews and Oft-Times Reminiscences. Nearly forgot then what I'm doing here. Today we're doing Blood Abscission. I've been waiting for this album to drop. In fact, I have $1 in my hand ready to pay for it when it becomes fully available on the 11th of April, I think. Excuse me. So I've heard a couple of the tracks as tasters, but I never buy anything on pre-order just in case I get disappointed when I listen to the whole thing. But the other day one of the YouTube channels debuted the whole thing, and I shall be buying it. Oh yes, indeed. Now one of the main problems I have when doing these videos is picking which track to play for you. And so I was tossing up between the third and the fifth track here, and there's you couldn't get a Rizzler paper between the two as far as premise is concerned, but the decision has been made for me because it's on pre-order. There's only track 3 available on Bandcamp. I mean, I could use the YouTube video, but sound quality might not be quite as good, so we'll go with the third track, which as I say, between the two tracks there isn't anything between them, so quite happy to do this one as opposed to the other. But where are we? Let's go then. Excuse me. One of the things in black metal, but in other genres as well, that because many artists in this genre do have, it's weird for me. When I was very young, punk came in when I was but a teenager, a very young teenager. That was it. How old was I in? 12 really when it hit, but 13 when I started listening to it. And the thing back then was, you know, sharp shocks. That's what you want. You don't want one of these overblown, proggy, self-indulgent sounds that a lot of the more grown-up, I suppose you call it, music of the time had. You know, it always makes me chuckle to a degree that now I listen quite contentedly to songs, in this case of just over 10 minutes. I think it depends on the vibrancy and what have you, as to whether, I mean, clearly some songs can be boring after a while, but black metal, well, the bands I like in black metal that play long songs get away with it, and some of that will be down to the hypnotic nature of the song, or the inventiveness in the composition, or what have you. But whereas occasionally I'll just remind myself of these long songs from my youth, and I hate them now. Can't abide them. Once I can't find any merit in them, clearly there's merit, but they just don't engage with me. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so these long songs do afford a builder. So the introduction here, an hour what was I trying to say? 1 minute 45 seconds to build to what we probably all knew was coming, and I always yes, I do. I always enjoy a good builder into the tumult that is to come. Not every band, and not every song is as effective as this one is in that, but many are. And it's always pleasing to hear. It's always nice to be vindicated that you know it's going to break out into a furor at some point, which it has, which we're going to listen to now, because that's what I'm here for. Stop it there, because one of my favourite bits is about to start and I don't want to interrupt it. One of the things I like about this album, now I've heard it all, is the contrast between the percussion and bass is quite, although it's forceful, there's a muffle to it, which contrasts with the more bright and distinct guitar and keyboards, and the drums in particular have a thump to them. I think I have said on times that I like cardboard box drums where there's a thud to them rather than being a clatter, and this is what we've got here, so I'm very happy with that. is another one of those examples of a song that, for me anyway, feels like a story being told. Now, in that sense, you don't really need to have distinct chapters, but just changes in emphasis, because in a literal story, a written story, not all successful authors have distinct chapters or contrasting chapters. You don't need to. The story itself is the key thing, and here you do feel as if you are being absorbed into a tale, and going back to one of the favourite bits I mentioned just in the last bit of bollocks I was spouting, that keyboard interlude with the sort of eddying keyboard riff, simple one but so effective. It is probably, as I said, I don't buy pre-order, but if I had to, my stomach yet again going, if I were told you got to buy it whether you like it or not based on this one track, I would have bought it for sure. Yeah, glorious stuff. I'll tell you a little tale of my own now. Met quite a while ago now, years ago. I was on a quite a long. I was on a mountain bike, but it wasn't particularly a mountain bike ride, but it was off-road. I need food. And as the case may be in this tale, I needed food because I've been cycling for quite a while. And I popped into a little cafe. There was me and another fella there. So I got my food and 2 cans of pop and cappuccino. Sat down, obviously my cycling gear, and the fellow started chatting with me. Now he was from Cameroon, and he had the most engaging accent, and he had the most deepest sonorous voice you could ever hear, and it was like listening to how would you say, it was like having syrup poured into your ears when he spoke. And it was sort of, my plan was to eat and go, but the conversation I was having with this chap was such that I wanted every word was was like being, you know, when you get into a hot shower after you've been out in the cold and you get those pulses of warmth that just in the shower tingle. It was that sensation of just wanting to have that sensation over and over again. Now this might sound a little bit waxing lyrical or over egging it, but it wasn't. It was I probably spent an hour talking to him when you know, my intention was to have 10 minutes eating and drinking and heading off again, and it didn't matter what we talked about. His voice just made it so it was a pleasure to listen to. The reason I'm telling you this is what the sound of this song is like for me. It's a sound I could listen to over and over again. It's just so rich, almost luxuriant, and you know, it's a sound that I don't think I'll ever tire of. There you go. So in the tale being told here, we are almost into the epilogue, I suppose. Now, I never read epilogues by and large in a written book. So I never have, but by and large I don't. But here, if you want to class this as the epilogue as we get towards the end, I do. I want to read it. I want to see what it's got to say. The tale being told here is, what do you call it? There's a word. The prose being used musically here is just have you, if it were a book, hanging on it or wanting to read every word twice over, 3 times, maybe. So there you go. On balance, if I had the choice, and the 5th track was available to me, I would have done the 5th track only because that it goes out with more of a bang, which is always my preference in 99% of circumstances. So yeah, but as a whole, there's nothing to choose between them, and all the tracks on this album are worth you listening to once, twice, thrice, and then again. So yeah, as I say, I'm going to be a bit lighter on the 11th when they take my money from me. But in the meantime, clicky bollocks, catch you all later. Cheerio.